Michigan State 71, Wisconsin 62. This was a critical Sunday afternoon game for Michigan State's Big Ten title chances, and it was made more critical by what happened after this game. Michigan's loss to Illinois. Michigan State now a game up on their rival with 2 games left to play. They can clinch a share of a Big Ten championship by winning one of their final 2 games. They can also clinch with a Michigan loss to Maryland. They can win it outright by just beating Michigan in the final game of the season. So everything is right where you want it for Michigan State right now. Specifically, this Wisconsin game was a fun game, I thought, back and forth. Both teams had some chances, but much like every other Michigan State game for the last month, Spartans wore them down in the second half. Cart. This was a game where John Tonje could not get going in the clutch at all. Wisconsin 5 for 32 from 3-point range, 15% from three in this game, and ultimately Michigan State created the separation that they needed. Jaden Akins with a good offensive performance, 19 points, 6 for 18 from the floor, but 4 for 9 from three was really nice. Jackson Kohler, 10 points, 16 rebounds, 7 offensive rebounds by himself, and he's getting a lot of love for this game, as he should. All in all, very good game, I thought, Cart. What'd you enjoy from your Spartans here?
Yeah, well, first off, whatever that one Akon song said, I think it was something like "Locked Up." We put that Tanji shit in what I like to call Michigan State guard wing Alcatraz. Um, that's just kind of what happens when really good guards or really good players, more so guards, I think, come up to Michigan State. I just think we have a great duo of wing guards that can check at a very high level. And, it's at a point of the season for Michigan State where you just can't throw out that teams can't shoot against Michigan State. Maybe that's a thing, but I think it's more so has to do with you got to look at the grand scheme of things is that Michigan State is just a really good defensive team and they're swarm, they're everywhere. They had depth to wear you down like you stated. And I mean Tanji got off to a pretty solid start in this game. I want to say he had like 7 in the first maybe 4 minutes of the game, something like that. And he could not get it going the rest of the game. I thought Akins did a good job on him. Jace was on him for a little bit. I thought Jace did a good job on him as well. Um, Blackwell did get his in this game, but it was on 20 attempts to get 19 points. So, kind of through and through, I thought it was just a really good defensive effort. And then once again, you just got to bring it up. Jace Richardson special. That dude is just so good on both ends of the floor. And, I thought him in closing time after being in foul trouble in the first half, he was limited to 21 minutes in this game, still spits out 11, 6, and 5. And a lot of those were big time closer moments, I think, as well. It got to winning time, to closing time. We put Jace Richardson in the game. And then Jackson Kohler there was nothing that Wisconsin could do with him. Jackson Kohler can't jump over a very thin phone book, but yet that dude creates position and grabs rebounds with the best of them. And having him do that against Wisconsin, who does have size with Crowell and Winter, it was very impressive. I mean, a monster 10, 16 double double, and Michigan State just gets it done once again. Nothing really you can say about this run that they've been on. It's been extremely fun to watch. But also like no one could see it coming, so it just makes it that much more fun that in this stretch of playing the best teams in the Big Ten, whether home or away, we just been able to line them up and knock them down and go 5-0.
Yeah, sensation. The 5-0 thing is insane. I
Yeah,
feel like it's been
crazy, right?
covered enough by both of us, but like we should spend more time on it probably. Like just 5-0 in the stretch they just played is insane.
Yeah, can I steal one of your tweets? Because I thought you really summed this up perfectly, and it is probably a bigger discussion that needs to be had. Like this doesn't have really anything to do with this recap specifically, but I need to find this tweet that you had. Okay, yeah. People will debate the March upside in the Big Ten. You'll hear Wisconsin, Illinois, Maryland, Purdue, other teams as with the highest ceiling. I will take the team that just went 5-0 against that group plus U of M with a title on the line. And it's a whole new team when Jace is featured like this. Like this run that Michigan State is on right now is one of the more impressive things in the country, I think.
One of the more impressive things
Given
Izzo,
this stretch they've had.
it's one of the more impressive things Izzo has ever done.
Yeah, in his career.
And I don't care what, like, that's not a statement on what this team has or doesn't have either. Like, I don't mean to comment on who the players are by this. You could give Tom Izzo his best team ever, and going 5-0 in the stretch that he's just run would still be one of the most impressive things he's ever done. So yeah, I'm just wowed by it. I am. Well, it's my Spartans cart. Hashtag save the
We're
Big Ten,
back.
my Spartans. Well, I love this team, man. I say it every single recap at this point. I like covering this team. And to Michigan State fans who have listened to this all season long, I think you probably believe me at this point. I've said it long enough now. I believe in this team. I think they're good. I think they're great. I think they are such a fun team to watch because they never get out toughed. They never get out efforted. They will get outshot, but it doesn't even matter. And I just have so much respect for the way this team wins basketball games and rises to the moment repeatedly and wears teams down and does it for each other. Um, it's a truly special group, and I mean that. And people that maybe 3 years ago, when I was dogging this program, when they started Marcus Bingham and Hogard and Tyson was afraid to shoot and I had all these issues. Like it to those people, this is what it looks like when your team is good. We cover it honestly. This team
Mhm.
rocks, and I think I've been pretty honest about that all season long. At this point, I enjoy loving watching this basketball team. Um, I wanted to get here later in the video, but you went right into it, and I think we should go there now. The shooting thing needs to be talked about a little. I'm not taking any credit away from Michigan State. They are an elite defense. They are like efficiency margin wise, I think they're like 10 percentage points ahead of the second best team in the Big Ten. So like nobody is denying Michigan State's the best defense in this league, probably a top five defense in the country. It's all real. You've shut down Braden Smith, Tanjay, everybody. It's real. 3-point shooting is different though. Like teams not shooting well from three, like history tells us there is variation involved in that. It's not just good or bad defense. Like this is a reality thing, whether it's Michigan State or somebody else. Usually 3-point attempt rate is the better indicator of how good your 3-point defense is than 3-point percentage. So you mentioned it. Michigan State is fourth nationally in 3-point percentage defense. Teams on the season are shooting 28% from three against Michigan State. It's obviously a great mark. It's obviously a mark that has contributed to this win streak. Um, in this game specifically, we haven't talked about this a ton throughout the year because, to your point, I don't think there's been much luck involved for Michigan State when teams shoot poorly. I think Michigan State does a really good job defending the 3-point line. In this game, Wisconsin shot 5 for 32. That is 15% from three. Wisconsin as a team is top 100 nationally in 3-point shooting. They shoot a million threes, and they make 35% of them on the season.
Mhm.
I was streaming this game on my phone on the way to the Michigan Illinois game, so maybe through my phone I didn't get as good of a look at this as you did. To me, it looked like Wisconsin missed a lot of open threes in this game. And to come on here and not acknowledge that and tell people to not make that point feels like a miss to me. Am I wrong?
Uh,
They
I'm
got
gonna
a
say
lot of threes in this game, Cart. You're telling me all of these were guarded?
no, no, not all 32 were guarded. No.
They shot 5 for 32 and we're like, it's not luck. Like, that was a hugely fortunate swing. They were what, 2 for 16 in the first half and led?
Yeah, yeah.
They had there was a huge stretch at the end of the first half where they missed like seven straight open threes. Could have created some separation with Jace on the bench and just didn't. And again, I have I'm not taking anything away from Michigan State because defensively they like Tanji likes to get downhill and get to the rim. He got nothing in this game.
Mhm.
But I thought you go through the guys like Nolan Winter 1 for 5. I thought he had quite a few catch and shoots that were pretty open. Blackwell and Tanji 2 for 15. Even if they are guarded, those guys rarely go 2 for 15 on guarded threes.
Yeah.
So I think specific to this game, it was part of the story. Wisconsin had chances to make shots and didn't, and Michigan State capitalized.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously they are a better shooting team than that. And yeah, I mean, I think they did miss some open ones. I think that's fair to say.
Okay. I don't like taking that angle from you after capping this win streak. Like I don't my takeaway from this game would not be like it's not shooting variation. I think that was a part of this game for sure, which is fine. Michigan State should capitalize on it, but
Yeah, but that's it. But that I mean, the only reason I push back on that is because that's I think I hear that every game. It's that teams don't hit shots against this team.
well, it's been true.
So that's just what it's just it's on the other team to hit shots.
Right, but like I don't know, I feel like we're gonna get in one of our Michigan State debates where I try to raise something that's like pretty accepted at a national level, regardless of what team it applies to, as like a
Mm.
smart way to view basketball. And then you're going to call me out on it because it's Michigan State, and then I'm going to get shit on in the comments, and then it's probably going to come true at some point down the line. This feels very like Jace Jeremy Fears 3 months ago to me. But like just generally, when a team rides super hot on teams not being able to make shots against them, it's a
Hmm.
good time to sell high. That's the opposite. Like people want to buy low on Illinois right now because they've had an all-time bad three-point shooting against them luck. Team shot like 42% from three against Illinois in the last 2 months. It's crazy.
Hmm.
And then they come out, Michigan doesn't make a three and they win by 20. So, like, that's pretty generally accepted. It's like a betting rule that Action Network talks about all the time. At some point this season, someone's going to make threes against Michigan State. Hasn't happened in this win streak at all. Again, your defense is absolutely a part of it, but on this game where again Wisconsin led by 2 at half while shooting 2 for 16 from three, I don't come out of this being like there wasn't some shooting luck.
Yeah, no, I
Winter
mean,
had a lot of open threes that he just clanged in this one.
yeah, yeah, sure. I think yeah, I'll
Like
accept
sure.
that. I'll accept that.
It doesn't matter. Like you're
No,
still
it really doesn't.
but I think my larger point is if you think this is gonna like you think it's gonna keep happening, teams are just gonna shoot 20% from three or worse against
I
Michigan
hope
State.
so. I hope so. It's definitely not. Like someone's going to hit more threes.
Yeah, that would just be my I don't if you believe this is gonna keep happening, I don't think you
No, I don't
should.
think anyone believes that teams are just going to continue to shoot 5 for 30 against them from three.
But you don't
Not
need that to
not
win. Like
not not
Purdue shot
serious, not
38% from three and you beat them.
not serious good basketball teams.
Purdue shot 38% from three and you beat them. So
Yeah,
Oregon shot 37% from three and you beat them.
right. So yes, yeah. I mean, yeah. It is like I said. It's fair to say.
When's the last time a team shot 40% from three against State? Has that even happened this year?
Did UCLA?
No, they were in the 20s. Hold on, I'm clicking through right now.
Has
Not in
anyone all
this win
year?
streak. Yeah, has it happened once this year?
No,
Has to
that's
have,
correct.
right?
It has to. There's
Right now, the
and
highest I've seen is Oregon shot 37% from three against you. I'm still going back through game logs. Didn't happen on the West Coast trip. Didn't happen against Minnesota. Didn't happen against Rutgers.
Oakland shot 36%.
I think, okay, Penn State. Penn State made 42% from three against you, and that game came down to the wire at Breslin.
Okay, there it was.
So, all right. But yeah, just like to me, when I say like Wisconsin should have and could have shot better, I literally mean like made 2 to 3 more threes, and then this is like a tie game late instead of down 9.
Yeah,
That's all. Like that's what I thought this was a very evenly matched game. Just Wisconsin's normally good shooters couldn't hit anything.
yeah. No, yeah, no. I think it's fair to say.
Yeah.
And look, if you're a Wisconsin fan, you're probably kicking yourself somewhat because Wisconsin's still a good team. They obviously down Klesman as a starter. That definitely hurt them for sure.
They had to play a lot of Kamari McGee, and he was
Yeah, which
awful in this
which
game.
which for sure hurt them because you got to think any Kamari McGee shot would have been Michigan's, or sorry, not Michigan State, Max Klesman, but um they were in this game kind of right before like the 4 minute mark, and then Jace came in and kind of closed things out on both ends of the floor, like made plays. So um yeah, if you're at Wisconsin, I mean you didn't shoot the ball well from anywhere, and you had a chance to win this game. So you feel good about that. And you take that little nugget with you back to Madison, I suppose.
I mean, the other thing I would say, is just I can make the point that like Wisconsin probably should have made a few more threes. I'm not trying to act like they deserve to win the game at all. I'm not. This is like an objectively elite shooting team that
Hmm.
shot horribly in this game. I don't think that was entirely forced. I think part of that was unforced, but I thought they were way too 3-point dependent. And it's by design, and Greg Gard has gotten a bunch of credit for it because, again, mathematically, it's really smart to shoot more threes than your opponent, right? That's analytics. That's basic Nate Oates ball.
Hmm.
Greg Gard has completely redefined this Wisconsin program this year. It's a big part of why they're very good. They don't play super slow anymore, and they shoot a lot of threes, and they're really efficient. But in this game, like I mentioned, Kamari McGee, he had like a breakaway and he turned around and kicked out to a shooter, allowing the Michigan State transition defense to catch up. They clanged a three, and then Michigan State went down and I think got an and one, or like a maybe that was the Jace Richardson foul sequence. It just there were quite a few times in this game I thought Wisconsin, who actively was super cold from three, was just settling when they didn't necessarily need to because that's the game plan. And I thought they kind of outsmarted themselves on that front in this game.
Yeah. I mean, you look, Wisconsin's been one of the better offenses all year. Um, and they're a team that has been really good shot makers. We have seen them be really good shot makers this year. Uh, they did not in the Breslin Center in a game that they still had hopes for maybe an outside chance at a Big Ten title or a share. And guys didn't play well, and that's on guys that hit shots, and also credit to Michigan State defensively for the effort they put in.
I'm just realizing looking at the box score, I had no idea Nolan Winter had more rebounds than Jackson Kohler in this
So
game.
he had 17 boards. I did not realize that till I literally just pulled up the box score just now.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, he had 14 defensive rebounds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's absurd.
Really.
Crazy. I didn't even notice that in real time at all. Wild. All right, what else here? Let me ask you broadly, and then we can do some player specific stuff. Coming into this game, I felt strongly that this was the two best teams in the Big Ten. Analytics still back that up. Analytics, Ken Palm tells us this is the number 9 and number 10 team in the country. Then you have to go down to 14 for Maryland, 16 Purdue, 19 Illinois. That's kind of the consensus top five right now. And if you want to stretch your imagination a little bit, you can still pretend that Michigan's playing well because they're in the standings. But um, was this the two best teams in the Big Ten? You just got through the gauntlet. You watched your team beat all of them. Is Wisconsin the second best team here?
Yeah,
What makes you believe that after a night where they had this offensive stinker still?
I think it was just an offensive stinker.
Well,
They don't
every
have
night got a
offensive
stinker.
stinkers. They don't. This stinker offensively is not something that we've seen all year from Wisconsin. It's because they are really good offensively. John Tanji's better than 3 of 13 and 1 for 8 from the field.
Okay.
Like he's better than that.
Okay. Surprised you didn't want to make the case for Maryland. Your Terps.
I've been more of a Badger guy this year.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's kind of it. I think it might have to do with you though. Like you try to tell me that the nickname is stupid and that it's Julian Reese.
Yeah, but then you get to Wisconsin and like it's Stephen Crowell. And Kamari McGee, you know?
Yeah, well, and not well. Kamar McGee's playing because another guy's out, and it's really Tanji and Blackwell.
I will say this, all year long, I have been kind of adamant at the Big Ten level outside of Michigan State, and even including Michigan State. I've been adamant that there's no top 10 teams here, and that I think everybody in the league is like good, not great, and somebody's going to win it, and we'll get there. I was wrong. Michigan State's great. Michigan State is legitimately awesome. That's the best team in this league. It's not close. They are a top 10 team in the country. This stretch is insane. The defense is that good. They have an offensive superstar that I'll put up with anybody right now. And I don't think I would feel this way if they didn't get there with Jace and his role, but they've gotten there, and that's all that matters. And this team can win a national championship. That's where I'm at. Then you draw the line there. Nobody else can. Respectfully to the rest of this league, we don't need to like pretend Wisconsin rocks or Maryland rocks or like everybody else in this league has some pretty serious flaws. That's why Michigan State may end the season 17-3 in Big Ten play card. Like, and I'm not taking anything away from the special run that you guys have had, but like Ken Pom tells us, Wisconsin's the top 10 team in the country. I think I would sell at that mark. Would you?
Yeah, Wisconsin being a top 10 team.
Like Ken Pom says they're better than Iowa State.
Yeah, that's a tough sell to put here. Um, yeah, I mean, where
Good
would you
team,
rank?
very very good team, but like not nationally relevant team this year to me.
I like the Badgers.
I know you do. I wanted to pulse check it with you after this because I mean this game was there for the taking for them and they stunk, which
Yeah,
was
they.
forced. A big part of it was forced, but
Yeah, I mean, we also had some guys that stunk as well. Let's not breeze past that. I
right.
mean, not guys. I mean, obviously, like Tanji stinking is like okay, that stinks, but you don't expect that. Our point guard spot in this game was an absolute disaster.
Not great. And Jace was in foul trouble, right? Like Wisconsin got the gift of Jace being auto benched and just didn't
Yeah,
capitalize on it.
Jason foul trouble and Fears and Holloman. I don't know what both parties were doing.
Yeah, it was
Good
weird.
God.
Yeah. Anyways, all right, let's go through some Michigan State specific stuff. Jaden Akins got the Ken Pom MVP. Jackson Kohler got the Internet MVP. Who was more important to this win?
Kohler. I think Kohler was what he did offensively on the glass and second chances. There was possessions where he got multiple offensive rebounds and they would end with a. I mean, there was one in the first half that ended with a kick out to Akins. It was just he was everywhere in this basketball game. The stuff he did on the glass was special. Um, and it's something about him doing it as well. I think got the crowd and the Breslin Center involved. As much as like energy as like a Cohen Card dunk gives or somebody else doing something, I feel like Kohler and the work he put in on the offensive glass was pretty special. Um, for him to have 10 and 6, like 16 boards is a monster game for him. And I think it was a really special double double, monster one. And then Akins letting it fly, I thought was good. And actually him seeing some shots go down, especially in that first half. Hopefully that does something for his confidence moving forward because we need to depend on somebody to hit some type of 3-point shots in this game or for Michigan State. And if we can count on Akins to hit a few here and there, it would, really help.
That stretch in the first half where Akins hit three straight threes and then he like missed one and then had an offensive rebound elbow jumper. Like I don't feel like we've seen him that
He was
aggressive
he
with his
was
shot in a
gunning.
while.
Yeah, he was gunning.
Yeah, which it takes a certain level of confidence to even like get him up like that, let alone make him. And I feel like we've seen him pass up some of those this year.
Well,
So,
good on him for doing it though, because like we did, like obviously with Jace with the auto bench in the first half, we needed somebody to do it.
yeah, definitely. I was really impressed. Does kind of feel like there's a world where Akins just like goes nuclear the last month of the year.
finally does it. No, I don't want to hold my breath on that one.
You don't want to hold your breath. I mean, but just to be fair, like if I'm sitting here saying like at some point other teams are going to make threes against Michigan State, like I got to say with Akins too. This guy's a good shooter, right? At some point he's going to make shots, and maybe that started in this game.
That'd be ideal. That would truly be ideal
Be
because we
more
need
than
somebody.
ideal. It'd probably be like all you need to make a Final Four, right? If you get Akins making 40% of his threes the rest of the way, I think you feel pretty great that this team could make a Final Four run.
We need somebody to have some type of threat from outside. And honestly, I love the attempts from Akins, like you mentioned. I thought his aggressiveness was needed. Um, and we make nine threes. Like it's a different when Michigan State makes nine threes because obviously it's only 33%, but it just hits different given the shooting troubles that they've had this year. Weren't all that great from the field either. Also from the free throw line too. Like Michigan State was honestly not that great. I mean,
Yeah, you left
didn't
points on
really
the
do
board for
much,
sure.
but the offensive rebounds are massive, and just able to make enough plays, and Jace just being special.
Yeah. Kohler quickly, he's had some really, really awesome games in the last month. He had 14 and 12 in the win over Oregon. He had 23 and 10 in the win over Illinois. He had 10 and 16 in the win over Wisconsin. This is the second time in Kohler's career that he played 30 minutes. You go through their last 13 games in this conference stretch where they've been really good. He has more game where he's played below 20 minutes than played 30 minutes or even played 20 minutes. I think 8 of his last 13 he's played under 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's going to change down the stretch? Like is it still matchup dependent? Cuz I struggle with this. You look at his profile,
Mm-hmm.
I think the rebounding is there every game. Like you can argue there's matchup dependent stuff for his offense, whatever, fine. This dude's just an elite rebounder. He's the 18th best defensive rebounder in the sport. He's the 12th best offensive rebounder in the sport. He's one of the only players that ranks that highly on both offensive and defensive rebounding. He is a flat out, straight up elite rebounder. For my money, he's the best rebounder in the country. So Cooper's done some good stuff defensively. Zapala is a large human. Isn't Michigan State
Wrong,
significantly better
wrong,
if
wrong, wrong L word for Zapala.
what's the right L word?
A liability.
Isn't this Michigan State team just infinitely more dangerous if Kohler is like doing this than if he's
Yeah,
on the
but
bench?
he has to, as long as he stays on the floor. I'll say this. I do think there's some, yes, like maybe there's some moments where like the match dependent thing or the turnover thing happens, but for the most part, and I'd have to go through game logs and double check this, but in my head, if he doesn't foul, if he does not get in foul trouble, he's probably getting close to that 27-minute mark for sure, right? I feel like it comes down to foul trouble.
So it's literally on Kohler to avoid foul trouble.
Yeah, which is tough for him because
Might be fair.
he can get in like I think you even pointed it out back at the UCLA game because he was not able to play because he got into foul trouble in that game. And I think there is somewhat of like a I don't know. I feel even weird saying this like when he does play against bigger, more physical bigs, he could get in foul trouble. I mean, you look at the Michigan game. 20 minutes, he had 4 fouls. So I think
Yeah.
him staying out of foul trouble is massive. But if he stays out of foul trouble, it is crazy what he does on the boards.
Yeah, can you give me the X's and O's behind this? You played the post in your playing career. Why is Jackson Kohler so good at rebounding?
There's a truly an art form for being able to see how I honestly I feel like Jackson does an incredible job of being able to like judge ball flight and also like see people are like, oh my God, Jackson Kohler's like always in the right spot. I think that's credit to Jackson for I think he's always finding himself in the right spot because he carves out space down low. He does a great job of, you know, kind of seeing where the ball flight is. And then he also has a great set of hands. Like there was some boards yesterday where other guys had a chance at it And it wasn't because Kohler leaped up over him. It's because he put his mitts up there and he grabbed the ball and he secured it. So I just think that he just has a knack for it. Like it's a special ability to rebound the basketball, and he doesn't necessarily need extreme athleticism or length. I just think that he does a great job of wedging his way down low, finding space, and then if he gets his hands on a rebound, he's grabbing it.
Yeah. Yeah, he does have great hands. I'm glad you mentioned that. I think Kohler has a lot more skill than he gets credit for. We know like he has the fancy footwork offensively, but like there's a skill to rebounding too and just being smart that I feel like he doesn't get all the credit for all the time. He's got great hands. He has a nose for the ball. He's always in great position. He's really high IQ. But the most important thing to me, just from what I see, I don't think he ever gets outworked, ever. Like his
No.
motor is pretty relentless, and it's really impressive to watch.
Yeah, no, it's there is a portion of wanting it more than the other guy with things like rebounding. Jackson Kohler wants like rebounds are life and death for him.
Yeah, dude's a psychopath. It's crazy. If he keeps this up, maybe one day he'll out rebound Nolan Wintercard.
I can't believe Nolan Winter had that many rebounds.
It is truly crazy. All right, jokes aside, yeah, that was a great performance from Kohler. Akins was great. Bow. Jace, you've used the word great performance from Jace like 7 times in this recap already. 11 points in 20 minutes, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, 1 turnover. He was in foul trouble. He was auto benched in the first half. This is why auto bench is stupid, by the way. Jace Richardson finished with 3 fouls.
Mhm.
Auto bench mathematically is the incorrect thing to do. And every coach does it, but it leads to this all the time. You could have played Jace Richardson 10 more minutes in the first half. He may have not even picked up a fourth foul, and you didn't. You give Michigan State credit. They overcame it. They survived it. Jaden Akins hit big shots. But it's pretty clear at this point that you're infinitely better when Jace Richardson is on the floor. This was a great performance to you from Jace.
Yeah, I thought it was because I thought that he could have if he wasn't auto bench, I thought this performance would looked a lot more special. But for him to because in this game it was the closing stuff for me. Like obviously I
Yeah.
think Jace Richardson is our closer given because he is, the best guard, best player, whatever you want to say. But he had him and Cooper running like this little two-man thing. And he threw it right on Cooper for like 3 dunks, 2 dunks, it felt like. He had the steal at the end, I think. Oh, I forgot it might have been on Tanji who took the ball from, or somebody else took the ball from him. Maybe Blackwell had another layup to extend the lead out to like 8. I just thought that Jace was doing everything, doing a lot of things for this team, and he on top of the scoring, on top of the having the ability to shoot the three, hits 3 of them in this game, 3 for 6. It was the assist too for me. I thought he did a great job of showing his passing acumen in this game.
Yeah, in the crunch time stuff, like you talk about being a closer, a lot of people think closer is just like, are you hitting the big shots? He closed this game with passing, with playmaking, which is the thing I've wanted most, right? Even you think back to when I was shaking ass emphatically begging for more Jace Richardson in November.
Mm-hmm.
It's because I believe in this guy's IQ and ability to get wherever he wants and make the right play with the ball in his hands. And I thought this was one of the most in control Jace Richardson games we've seen, especially when it did get to closing time, because they weren't asking him to just go make the shot. They were giving him the ball and saying, get out of the way, let this dude make the right play. And in this game, that led to like getting to his left and then passing for a dunk. He had, I think, back-to-back assists with like 3 minutes left to stretch the lead to 9. And he can still do any time. He can do the step back three thing. His efficiency as a scorer is insane. He ended up 4 for 9 in this game and missed a free throw, which was crazy. But like he just those floaters he takes, the footwork, the patience, the up and unders, and it always feels like they're going in. I trust his shot from three so much. He's just stellar. He's one of the best freshmen I've ever watched. And I give Izzo a lot of credit. I still wish he would have gotten there earlier in the season, but who gives a F at this point? Doesn't matter. You're 24-5 and about to hang a banner. So whether I got it early enough or not, I give Izzo a bunch of credit for getting here because he has essentially had to throw Jeremy Fears aside here in
Hmm.
order for this role to happen. Now, Fears still played 23 minutes. We can talk about what happened in those 23 minutes if we want to, because not a lot happened in those 23 minutes. Um, but to me, in order to get to the point where like Jace Richardson is our closer, Jeremy Fears has been on the bench in crunch time in a bunch of games in a row lately. You don't lose them. And Jace Richardson always makes the right play. And that's not an easy decision for Tom Izzo to make, but I think it's been the right one. And maybe there will be some questions in the offseason about what the future of the guard spot looks like, whether a lot of moving parts here. Is Jace back? Is he not? If Jace is back, is everybody else happy? If he's not back, do you need another guard? Like, because you think about it, you could lose Akins and Jace. Are you just going forward with Fears and Trey and no depth then, or what's the plan?
No, you're gonna have to get a guard, but
That's for a later day, though. Let's just do
yeah,
this game first. But
so
Fears,
with this game though. I think that would we like to get to this point sooner? Obviously, it was actually funny, and I missed this at the first time it was said, but I think it was on the field of 68 after the Maryland game. Izzo was like, "Yeah, well, the one thing about bringing Jason along slowly is I feel like you've seen some other freshmen around the Big Ten hit sort of a wall, and I feel like I've been able to just bring him along slowly, keep him fresh. I don't know if he's trying to throw like shots at like Asparis or something like that, but in any regard, it just having Jace just makes this team ceiling astronomically higher. And I think Izzo has finally rightfully identified that and has shifted to that. And I think it's made this team better for it. Jace is just so good, truly so good. It's crazy to watch. I think in this one, like you said, it was because of the playmaking you got the saw in this one as well. It was the passing, making the plays on the defensive end. Had one steal, but I thought it was a massive steal. I think to push the lead out to 8, like I said, that dude is just an incredible basketball player. Truly,
yeah, yeah, he is.
I'll miss him next year.
So you're saying he's gone?
Yes,
I mean, I don't want to say the only, he could go if he wants, but like, I've long thought he's just going to be back.
Carter Elliott. As long as I fire up this Logitech and this blue snowball two here, I will not advocate for lottery picks to come back to school. School sucks.
Okay. East Lansing doesn't suck. I enjoyed my time in EL.
EL is great. EL is great, Greg. If you are a lottery pick, you're not going back. You can go back to Fieldhouse. Come back for grind week. Woof woof. League him. And that's not saying I don't want him back. Of course I want Jace back. Jace could be National Player of the Year if he came back next year. But absolutely not. The end goal is not to be National Player of the Year. I get it. Like, yay, let's go win a title. I
And
feel bad
what if the end
saying
goal is win a national championship?
I get well
We
maybe
could do that this year,
I
but
guess I mean honestly this probably stems from me being wired like a loser, but like lottery pick me.
okay, understood.
The
The
Richardson family gave them one title. That's they got their title from the family.
Yeah, this is just an interesting one with regards to his NBA draft decision because I think until the last month, it was perfectly reasonable to think, oh, he's going to come back for a bigger role. Now he has the role. So are you really coming back to just show what you've already shown? I do think, look, I'm not going to act like I understand the Richardson family dynamics, but I would point this out to any Michigan State fans who feel adamant that like, oh, the family wants him back anyway. This was a 2-year plan or anything like that. It's been weird with the Richardson family with their younger son. Jason Richardson has been on social media tweeting about like rotations. So I don't feel all that confident that like they think I look Jay Rich loves this. I'm not saying he doesn't, but like I think there's a real reason why the younger son isn't considering Michigan State that stems from Michigan State and not like Jason Richardson is clueless here. So I don't know what that means. I don't think it should have an impact on Jace. At this point, it seems like Jace is going to be taken like 7th overall anyway. And if
Mm.
he's mocked that highly, then you're into the Jaren Jackson, Tom Izzo conversation realm, right? Like, are
Mm.
we going to have like a private behind closed doors and Jace is going to be like, oh, I kind of want to come back. And Tom's
Well,
going to be like,
this
Jace.
also like this is it for me too. Like, simple question here: what is Jace doing to improve his draft stock?
I mean, the only pitch would have been like play 35 minutes a game, be the superstar on ball guy, try and be a first team All American. But like he's been doing that for a month at this point.
Right. Yeah. I
So
just.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the reality is this: the further this team goes in March, the better his stock is going to be too.
Yeah. Very. 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 Very true. Very. Very true.
Yeah. Um, can I throw two extremely dangerous hypotheticals at you?
Oh, I'm scared. What? Let me hear the first one, and then
No,
I'll
I'm doing
decide.
both. I've already decided I'm throwing both. They're both Jace Richardson returning hypotheticals.
Great.
So I gave a similar one to Duke fans a couple weeks ago. If I gave you two paths right now, you have to go down one of the paths and you can pick. Path number one, play the rest of the season out. Whatever happens, happens. Leave fate to the world. And Jace Richardson goes pro. That's path one. Path number two, Michigan State loses in the round of 64. Let's call it a 2 seed losing to a 15 seed, Middle Tennessee State round two. But Jace Richardson returns. Which path are you taking?
Jace returning.
You would sign up for the loss to guarantee yourself year two of Jace
I got a Big Ten banner.
rather than letting it play out. Yeah, let's say you do have a Big Ten banner.
Yeah.
Wow. I think a lot of Michigan State fans are going to hate you for that.
Get in line.
Okay. You just think year two Jace is that special.
Oh, what?
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right.
What would you
Uh,
pick?
I if I were me being asked in your shoes by you being me, I would have tried to negotiate like better outcome than like just letting it play out. You know
Mm.
what I mean? Like, oh, just let it play out. Like, no, give me something a little better than that. Like,
Well, you didn't put yourself in my shoes then if you are leaning on negotiating.
true. All right, second hypothetical is this. This one's probably a little more cutthroat, so sorry ahead of time. Would you rather have year two Jace and then he goes, or 3 more years of
You
Jeremy
bastard.
Fears?
You
Now,
bastard.
pause this. You could have both. Let me be clear. This is a hypothetical that is not rooted in reality. But let's just say hypothetically, you get year two Jace. Jeremy Fears doesn't like that and decides to leave the program. That's what it would take to get year two of Jace. Or Jace, enjoy the NBA. You're gone. 3 more years of Jeremy Fears. Which of the two paths would you take?
I don't feel like in the position that I'm in, being 5-0 currently in this
Answer the
stretch,
question. Answer the
that
question.
I should be forced to answer this question.
It's such good content hosting, though. Don't let me down. Don't leave me hanging.
This is I just you don't ask this question if Michigan could get a goddamn offensive rebound
You're
yesterday.
right. You're right. If I'm not in hell, if I'm not a game back of you, then I probably don't. But
So
look,
I
because let me just preface this while you figure out how you're going to navigate this
oh
for
well
30.
no. Well, the thing is I'm figuring out how to navigate. I know my answer.
Right. You can just text it to me if you want, but I'd rather you say it out loud. But here's my thing. Spoiler alert to whenever this Michigan State season ends. They could win a national championship, they could lose in the first round. I don't know. You're going to hang a Big Ten banner. It's been a great season. Everyone's happy. However, this season ends, when the season ends, we are going to get to the point. I'm going to have a new baby, and I'm going to have my 45 minutes that I can record with you for. And we're going to get on. You're going to be like, "What's the agenda today?" And I'll be like, 45 minutes of what's happening to the guard spot. Like we're going to discuss this
Mhm.
because if Jace comes back, I don't know that everyone's going to be all that happy with that outside of the fan base and Jace and select players. There are probably a lot of guys that are really happy with it. But like, I'll just say, I think Jeremy Fears wants the keys to this. Jeremy Fears has not had the greatest body language as Jace has been on the floor and he's been on the bench the last couple of games. He's a great leader. He's a program guy. I'm not taking any of that away. But this is the guy who calls himself the floor general that has been given the keys to the future of the program, that suddenly has been asked to greatly reduce his role because Jace is just flat out better.
Mm-hmm.
So if Jace did come, like I'm sure Jeremy Fears is probably loving this run. The team's great. Winning cures all. But like, I think in his mind, it's like, oh, this is only going to be like one more month and then it's my program again. And if Jace comes back, guess what? It's not. It's Jace Richardson's program. He's that good. So they can share it. Michigan State's special. This team has great chemistry, great cohesion, all of that. But it's a real thing that there will be moving parts here that depend on Jace Richardson's decision. So to me, it's a fair question to ask as a fan. Which one would you prefer? You might get both. There's a very real world where Jace is like, I want to come back, and Jeremy Fears is like, hell yeah, let's do it, man. But if it wasn't that, if it was two different paths, which path would you take?
The one with the NBA player coming back.
Over the one with 3 years of the guy who is on pace to set the Big Ten's assist record?
Yeah, look, I think you have to. There's a lot of what ifs and things that need to happen with fears. And look, I believe they will. I have faith they will, just because even if it's a blind faith, I believe in the kid. I'm willing to stand on that. But there's a lot of steps that need to be taken with him that I don't need to be taken with Jace right now. I think Jace is really, really good and really complete.
But 3 years of it, though. And it's a reasonable bet that those steps of growth are added.
But I don't know that for sure.
3 years more than 1 year, though.
I'd just love to get the NBA player back for a year.
All right. I think I would genuinely take the other one if I was in your shoes. And it sounds crazy, but I'll make this comp. If you had asked us this exact same toss up, Miles Bridges, Cassius Winston's freshman year, now it would have made no sense to ask that because they play different positions.
Mm-hmm.
But my guess is that you would have said, give me year two Miles Bridges over 3 more years of Cassius Winston. And I get that I am now doing the Fears to Cassius thing that I make fun of everybody else for. But like the reality is this, 3 years of a guy is a lot more valuable than 1 year of a guy. So if you believe in Jeremy Fears, to me, I would take that path. If you don't believe in him, it's a different conversation. But
Luckily, I don't have to choose.
you don't.
I don't. Not now. I don't.
You don't. All right. Thanks for obliging in my hypotheticals. I'd like to know Michigan State fans at large's opinions on this. And I'd rather hear real answers instead of just like, shut up, Greg, they love each other. So if anyone wants to like give me a real answer in the comments, I'd like to pulse check this, you know?
I love my life.
Is your life good right now?
Can I get a minute?
Take 5 minutes, Cart.
I don't even want 5 minutes. I just want to keep it very, very simple. We can keep on because this is my favorite. This is my favorite time of year. Yeah, they are going 5-0. Yeah, this, that. But like I can't wait to fade this team in March. Great. Do it. That's fine. Like if that makes you feel better that you are going to fade this team and maybe be right. That's the thing. You could be right. Sick. You can go back and make sure you bookmark that tweet or search it so that you can be like, I told you on this date that we're going to fade Michigan State in March and it's going to be great. And you could be right. But at the same time, you could be wrong. And this team is on a crash course to be hang a banner as a Big Ten champion this year, whether that's shared outright, still work to do, but we are in a great spot. And the fact of the matter is, if you are going to say that, I also want it to be known, and you need to say it, and tap myself on the chest here. I can't, like, because I was one of the doubters. This is one of the most incredible coaching jobs that we have ever seen from Coach Tom Izzo. And that dude needs his flowers because I made jokes that this guy said he was going to die trying and then proceeded to act the way he acted. He said, I'm going to die trying with Carson Cooper and Jackson Kohler and everyone else on this team and a point guard that can't shoot. And he's succeeding. And it was like, okay, yeah, he lost to Mike Woodson. I'm out. We get on the West Coast swing. I'm out. I was one of the ones saying I'm out. Big media accounts are making graphics about the teams that this team has beat. Keep marking it up because you look at the top of the Big Ten, we beat all those teams. And we only lost 3 Big Ten games all year. And you got to play who's in front of you. Respect this team. Respect Tom Izzo. That's all I got to say.
I echo those thoughts.
Hmm?
I echo those thoughts.
Yeah. So, like I said, make sure all the dishes that are being made for when Michigan State loses, because I think there's going to be a potluck with a bunch of people,
Hey,
right? So,
I don't think that many people are preying on your downfall right now.
nah, no. It's fun. It's fun to tweet that you feel good about other teams after they lose, but once Michigan State wins, it's like, I mean, yeah, they're great, but like they're gonna lose playing this way in
Who are
March,
you
which
talking
might
to
be
right now?
true.
Are you talking to national media? Name names. Who are you talking to right now? Who's doing this?
I think everybody.
Who? I don't feel like I've seen that much of that. I mean,
No,
I've quote tweet like yesterday. I was annoyed when Seth Davis did it because I was like, you know this. I've been very annoyed that people aren't giving Michigan State the credit they deserve. That's why I tweeted that I think they have the highest March upside. It's ludicrous to me that we keep doing after every Michigan State win against a team, we talk about how the other team has great upside. Shut up. Win a game. Go do it. Nobody can. Nobody will do it to this team. But I want you to name names. If you're coming out like everybody's preying on Michigan State's downfall,
maybe not. Okay, maybe not
I
at a
don't view it
national.
that way.
Maybe not at like like let me call out national guys or anything like that. Maybe that's not the case. Maybe I'm more so projecting what fans and people are saying.
Like cardiologists, that's it. Like Illinois fans have been preying on your downfall for sure. I don't know that anybody else has.
You don't think so?
Like who else? Do you think like maybe in general Michigan fans don't like you, but like I've been parading save the Big Ten, my
You,
Spartan.
oh no, you have, but I also think that I think I'm fair in saying that Purdue fans still are like, I mean, this isn't going to work for Michigan State. Tom Izzo's just a baby. He's going to get his calls at home.
Maybe I haven't seen as much of that. I thought Purdue fans hated my team a lot more than yours this year, honestly, because there's a weird mutual respect I feel like between after Izzo said like our programs are the same. I
Yeah, it
feel
was
like Purdue
after. Yeah, I
fans
guess
like
it has changed after that. But like I'm saying, just don't put out something that'll go bad. Just put it in a crock pot, let it sit, let it simmer, and then when we lose in the first game, then you can pop out the Tostito chips and get your buffalo chicken dip on.
yeah. Okay. All right. Can I remind people we'd save the Big Ten for a second? I got a lot of Illinois fans in my mentions joking about save the Big Ten. Dog, you idiots. The Big Ten is officially saved. My job here is done. Do I
Like
wish that Michigan beat Illinois? Sure. But I've said this all along. The goal was to bring the title back to the state of Michigan in the hands of a coach that's actually been relevant in March before. And not 2 decades of not being relevant in March, as the two coaches that had ran this league the last 4 years had, right? This is a reminder that there's some caliber stuff, and Tom Izzo ultimately is the one who's going to take the crown. But to Illinois fans or anyone else thinking my Save the Big Ten movement is lost, dog, y'all just won it for me. We literally saved the Big Ten. I said I wanted to run through you or me. Guess what? It runs through you now, and that's a win. I get to be your little role player here. You can be my superstar, and I'll stand in the corner and watch.
they laughed at us, Gregory. They said it was stupid. They said we couldn't save it. They said it ran through West Lafayette. They said it, well, that's fine, but Illinois got a higher season, most talented team of all time. And there's little old us here.
I will also point out in our scenario that we talked about last week of like how do we get to a true split? The results this weekend were the best for a true split.
So, okay, say the Big Ten update. We lose at Iowa.
Well, you don't want to save the Big Ten anymore, and this is where I lose your entire audience who's been hashtag save the Big Ten with me all
Wait.
season.
I want to say. You said it's already saved.
Well, it is because again, Save the Big Ten was just I want one of us to get it. But the
Hmm.
the true ethos behind Save the Big Ten would be let's share this. And
Okay.
the issue is we're coming up to like the end of the reality TV competition, and you're gonna Johnny Bananas me. Like I'm gonna be standing at the top of the mountain, like we did this. You just need to share the money with me, and you're gonna be like, I'll take it all, and then turn away. And that's what's going
I'll
on.
share.
But
I'll share.
this was the best path though, just for this reason. Michigan would never beat Michigan State in the Brez if they didn't have quote unquote more to play for, which
Mm.
means Michigan needs to get to that game needing a win to split in order to have any chance of winning that game. Now, I'm not doubting Michigan State's still going to want to deny Michigan that split, and it's going to feel great for them. But to me, if you're looking for how do we truly split it, you needed one of these two teams to drop a game, and I think it works in everyone's favor for a split that Michigan dropped the game. Now Michigan either need a Michigan win over Maryland or a Michigan State loss to Iowa.
Okay.
If one of those two things happen, then the final game of the season is for a Michigan share of the title.
You want to know why I'm fine with that? And
Why?
I still want to say the Big Ten because for me, I come out of here with two things. One here, I come out with a share, or two, everything that has happened this year and everything that I give Dusty credit for in a spot with some shit on the line, God forbid, he craps himself.
It
I will hold that over his head until he wins the national title.
is a win-win spot for you if you get there. Yeah.
Like, come on, like,
No, it's not. It's not a win-win.
what if he goes to the Brez and starts fat?
What if he goes to Brez and wins?
Then I shift and I ignore the fact how impressive that is, and I say I got to share the title. I'm in a great spot, G. I am.
It's all coming up cart right now. It really is.
That's a
Yeah.
scary thing.
Which by default means it's all coming up me. Illinois fans can make their cookie cakes clowning me. I just want to save the Big Ten. That's all
That
I
cookie
want.
cake was crazy. I feel like we didn't spend enough time on that.
It was crazy. I respect the play so much, honestly. It is just a diabolical play. Okay, last footnotes from me on guys we didn't even get to from this game. Frankie Fidler was legitimately really good in 20 minutes. He had 9 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, and one tweet from me still making jokes about him being a foul baiter. What'd you make of Frankie's performance in this game?
Yeah, I thought that Frankie did some nice things. Obviously, he was able to hit the three, which helped out. It's so funny to me because I actually gave credit for I want to give credit to John Tanji. He did a great job of realizing that Fiddler loves a good old pump dribble right and did a good job of cutting that off. I don't think other guys in Wisconsin did that great of a job at it. Um, and it's funny to me because I think the scout is very much out on what Fiddler wants to do, yet he still gets people with it.
Yeah.
Like I would take away scholarships for anyone who jumps at a Frankie Fiddler pump fake.
Yeah. Yeah,
Truly.
I laughed. Again, great performance from Fiddler. He was legitimately good in this game, and if he can give you 20 good minutes off the bench, it's a really powerful thing for this team right now. It could help them a lot down the stretch. I just laugh because this guy, every shot this guy has attempted for a month, other than his catch and shoot three in this game, he ends up on the floor. Now, sometimes there's contact, sometimes there's not contact, and he ends up on the floor. And it's just really funny to watch that guy in a Michigan State uniform for a program that never does this. Just do it every single game. It's shocking and funny to
Yeah,
me.
I mean this respectfully. I do not enjoy watching him play basketball because of that. Because I'm just not the biggest like out there flailing around. Like it's the reason why I don't like watching Vlad hoop either. It's just I can't rock with the flailing.
Also, just a like brief reminder, Frankie Fidler started the first 7 games of this season. Like he was brought here to be a featured option, the number one option on this team. And Tom Izzo thought he was that for a month of this season. And
Also, can I?
now you're great. Now you're about to win the Big Ten outright, and you are 24-5. But in November, you thought Frankie Fidler was your best player.
Can I say another funny thing that somebody hit me with in the DMs?
Yeah.
This came from an egg account, but like it hit me like a 12 gauge shotgun to the chest, Gregory. Whoever sent this, you're a demon because they sent this directly after the buzzer went off here. Um, he transferred from Omaha.
Correct.
When he was at Omaha, they were like 4-97.
Yeah.
Omaha just won the Summit League.
No way.
Yeah.
That's unreal.
Omaha's 19-12 and 13-3, and they won the regular season.
Oh my God, I
They
had
won the
no
Summit
idea.
League.
I had no idea. That's
Neither
unreal.
did I. But Greg, I'm literally talking seconds after the game ended that got sent to me.
I mean, that's unreal. I love that play from whoever did that. Shout out to the Egg account.
Psycho.
Speaking of narratives that have been false all year, did you see what Madi Sissoko did this weekend?
Oh, you talking about Ramadan Mahdi?
Ramadan Madi, yeah, did you see?
Yeah, what do you have, 21 and 15?
Madi Sissoko was a Ken Pom MVP in Cal's win over Boston College. He finished with 21 points and 15 rebounds. Uh, 21 and 15 for
Yeah,
Michigan State's former center that everyone told us Shimon Zapala is significantly better than.
not even gonna do it, but I was ridiculed.
Hmm. So on that note, did you see what AJ Hogarth did this weekend?
What do you do? I saw he had the pass the
Did
nickel.
you actually see it? You didn't see?
I saw he had that one. I had that the pass the nickel. What did he do?
He had 21 points, 6 assists, 2 steals, and just generally in overtime against Missouri in a big comeback win was like dominant in overtime. It was crazy.
Hey, Vanderbilt, welcome to the AJ Hogarth experience. That's great because the games before that he was spitting out zero.
Yeah, I mean, I hear it, Cart. I just,
It's the gift that keeps on giving, man. It is a roller coaster ride. It's one that you take and you accept it for what it is. Um, but yeah, you get those every once in a while.
Vanderbilt is 20-9, 8-8 in the SEC. That is better overall and equal in conference play to Kentucky this season.
Yeah. Does Vanderbilt stink?
Do they stink?
Yeah.
I don't think so. No, that's the
Okay.
point. They're a winning basketball team this year.
Hmm.
Dog, 8-8 in the SEC is like a really good mark. They're gonna make the tournament like comfortably.
Yeah.
You just who cares?
Good on them.
Well, just you get where I'm going. But like
No, where are you going?
I'm going here. Michigan State could have done exactly what they're doing this year with either Madi Sissoko and or AJ Hogarth still on the roster.
Marty, yes.
The idea that you couldn't do this with those guys is not correct to me.
You think you could do it with both of them?
AJ has been objectively way better than Jeremy Fears this season. Now, again, culturally, sure, you needed to cut ties. It worked out for both parties. But the idea that AJ Hogarth can't be on a winning team is insane as he is on a winning team right now. Like, and this it's as insane as the people that said Zapala was better than Madi. Like you absolutely could have won with those guys. You didn't. And I don't think their departures had anything to do with this year's team being good.
Mm.
Unless if the argument really is just that everyone in that locker room hated Hogarth that much that it ruined their game. I guess I would listen to that, but I just don't think I buy that.
I just don't think Hogarth's been that great this year.
You don't need to be that great, quote unquote, to be better than your point guard.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, at 21 and 6 and made all the winning plays late to win this game.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. I would not want AJ Hogarth on this team.
Why?
I don't know. I'm just not really rushing to. I think a good part of why Vanderbilt's good is because they realize what AJ Hogarth is.
And found ways to win with it?
He's not even the best point guard on their team.
Who is?
Tanner.
I mean, I think all numbers would show otherwise.
Are AJ Hogarth's numbers that great?
They're better than Tanner's. You're just making shit up if you're saying Tanner's been better than AJ.
You don't think he is?
No, and the minutes and production and all of it doesn't back it up either. You're just, Card, just like I respect it. You're just hating, but
I'm
like,
not hating, but like you are really out here caping for like Hogarth like he's been incredible.
I mean, you yourself said you didn't watch, so you didn't see it, but he was
Well, okay, so
legitimately
like he
stellar.
was, yes, he was really good that game. That's,
He's had a
that's a,
lot of really good games this year. Yeah, he's also
yeah,
had
yeah,
stinky ones, but
he's incredible.
come on, we don't have to do that. It's a find the middle. I'm just saying, like the idea that removing one guy is what led this team to success is insane to me. That's
Oh no,
not.
I don't think I don't agree with that at all. But I would take Marty back on the team.
But you doubling down on Hogard is doing what you have acknowledged is wrong with Madi.
So you're in agreement that this team, Michigan State, would be just as good or better if they had AJ Hogarth on this team.
I think they would not be a worse basketball team with Hogard instead of PG1. Correct. Because he is objectively better at basketball than that player.
Oh, okay.
Now, if I guess the only argument I can understand is that everyone hated AJ so much that nobody would play good if he was still in the locker room. But
Yeah, I mean, if you take away everything and just do the basketball notion portion of this, I guess you can come away with that take. Yeah.
like I don't think AJ would have been incapable of watching Jace Richardson be great. Is that the incorrect approach to ignore the other stuff? What is the other stuff anyway? What is define the other stuff for me? What is it? Everyone just hates him?
I don't even know what the other stuff is. I don't know.
Why can't an AJ Hogarth team win?
I don't know. Maybe it's what you put around AJ Hogarth.
That's kind of where my point is here. But like I'm just wondering, like if you want to defend your spot, I want to hear you defend it. Oh,
I don't think I got a good defense.
okay.
I just don't think. Yeah, I don't know.
Just hasn't been that good, doesn't matter.
Not. No, not really.
I mean, neither Madi doesn't matter either. Your team doesn't need anything additional to do what you're doing. But
Well, you would say, but like when you do the bigs as a whole, right? Like do like the whole exercise, Marty would be better than Zapala and better than Cooper, don't you think?
yeah, to me, yes.
So you think, and going to the Hogarth thing, Hogarth would be better than Fierce, better than Holloman, yes?
That one's tough for me.
Because I could honestly, I feel like Holloman might, like
That one's
um
tough for me.
I mean that's another company that maybe people are split on that.
I guess
So
that's a good point on the difference between the point guard and the center spot. If you did have Hogard back, it would mean less Holloman and Jace. It
yeah,
wouldn't just be one for one with Fierce. It would be less Holloman and Jace. And that would have definitively hurt Michigan State. So, okay, now we've made it to the finish line. I'm
that's how
I'm
we
in
that's
alignment
hey,
with you.
we're eventually gonna get there.
I'm in alignment with you. But it just I want it known the same way people try to tell us this guy's an upgrade over this guy.
Hmm.
That was wrong with Madi and it's wrong with AJ.
Yeah,
Okay. And it didn't impact Michigan State
for now, yes.
for now. Well, now's the only year that matters because AJ's going to go be an accountant or whatever. He'd be an awful accountant.
I don't know what he's
What
gonna.
do you think AJ is going to do in the future?
Oh, he's gonna be he'll be a pro.
Pro what?
I don't know, like in
Okay. All right.
over
Don't answer that.
being
Cohen
in
card.
Belgrade with Vlad.
Cohen card. Dunk of the hour.
He traveled.
Which one are you talking about? The second half one and not the reverse oop?
Yeah, reverse oop was nasty. Also, downside of Jigathon, don't think he's a great alley-oop passer.
What?
I thought that pass was bad. That's the reason why he had to reverse it.
I thought the pass made that dunk way better.
No, I'm clipping up things right now. I think Jiggy overthrows Cohen a lot.
I think everyone on earth overthrows Cohen. It's Cohen. You're trying to throw it as high as humanly possible.
He throws it late, in my opinion.
Okay. All right. So we're not happy with Jig.
We are 5-0 though.
You know who's a great oop passer?
I'm very happy with Jig too, by the way.
AJ could throw an oop, man.
He can. I love my life.
It's a good life cart. I loved Cohen's dunks. After the game, Tom Izzo said that Cohen's dunks are worth 6 points.
I feel like he's selling it short.
Yeah, me too.
Best
All
dunk of the
right.
life.
Xavier Booker, 5 minutes after Izzo was talking about it and said the hard part for Xavier is there's two sides to the floor.
Yeah, very much so.
He's hit a three in what, three straight games?
He has hit a three in three straight games.
Five of his last 6 games.
He also like whatever minutes he has, it is give up 6 to 8 points, hit 1 3.
At this point, do you want Xavier completely out of the rotation as a fan, or do you want him to keep getting 5 minutes a game?
I'm fine with him getting those minutes. Because if for some reason he wants to tap into some of that stuff he was doing over in Maui or something like that, you play him more. If not, you take him out. Hopefully, you get a three in that time, but it's not, you know, neither here nor there. I mean, shit. You need somebody to take up some minutes out there, especially if you're gonna have Zapala doing whatever he's doing.
Yeah. Okay. Last question for me. Let's just assume Michigan State beats Michigan, wins the league outright. Where does the season rank on all-time enjoyable Michigan State seasons for you?
Top three.
What's ahead of it?
Uh, Cash's senior year is for sure ahead of it.
That's a crazy, crazy take.
Is it?
Yeah,
Why?
because that team lost 9 games and did not get to compete in March, and I just don't think was nearly as good as they've been remembered. Maybe I'm
Mm,
wrong on that.
yeah, but that'd be for me. That and honestly, just go through Cash's junior year too is up there for me.
It's basically any of the Cassius years you would put over this.
Not any of them. Because his junior year, that was the beat Duke year, right? Yeah.
That one I accept. The
Yeah.
Cassius
That
Tillman year.
that's honestly probably one.
And that was an outright. No, actually, you split with Purdue that year, but it felt like an outright title. 16-4 in the Big Ten.
Yeah. That one's up there.
Swept Michigan 3 times, hung 2 banners, made a Final Four.
Yeah. That was probably yeah, I think that's the most enjoyable. But this one's up there. Um I think also given the timing of not enjoying the past couple years has made this one like more enjoyable in its own right.
Yeah.
I think that's where I have trouble with this year and its enjoyability scale. Like I'm enjoying it, but obviously I'm enjoying it because of the success, but the enjoyment hits a little bit different given the past couple years.
I feel like there's an argument this has been the most enjoyable Michigan State season since like a long time. Probably Cassius Tillman was special enough. I like that answer, but if I'm thinking through like special Michigan State just regular seasons, forget about March.
Mhm.
Cassius Tillman, Valentine, Forbes, and then this year are probably the three.
Right. Well, there's still players that don't make me enjoy basketball on this team, though, even given the success.
Yeah, that's harsh.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it's harsh. All right. One more week left before Michigan State gets to stand at the top of the podium. Cart, congratulations.
Join
See you at
me.
the Big Ten.
Join me.
I'll do my best, but
Okay.
It doesn't feel good. Save the Big Ten.